I've been thinking about this work, Coral Rekindling Venus, since I met David Malan, the astronomical photographer. And he told me the story about the observation of the transit of Venus and James Cook's ship Endeavour being sent to this part of the world in order to observe that astronomical event. I'd taken 2 little photographs with me to meet David Malan. One was an image of the birth of a star, and the other was an image of coral spawning. I said, these have such resonance with one another. And he said, it's not just a visual relationship, it's also a historical one. And that's really when the idea for this work was born. When Coral was first released, it was released into planetariums all around the world, digital full dome environments. It's a happy experience for me to have this work here at RMIT in Melbourne in this beautiful mini dome. It's a very intimate experience of coral lying under this sort of precious small arc of light.
Hi, I'm Stephen Haley and I no longer drink out of plastic bottles, and I'll tell you why. I began to look at water bottles and wondered how many were made every year by us and if I could just simply take a photo of it. As it turns out, it's impossible. There's way too many. So I reduced the scale down to just 1 second of the world's production of this massive gyre of plastic that I'd heard about in the Pacific. That's really the spark that got me to think about plastic, the oceans, and their interaction.
The work is called the butterfly effect, and it's the idea of something small creating a massive change. This little creature here is a pteropod or a sea butterfly. He's at the bottom of the food chain. He's under immense stress because of the changing acidity in the ocean. I think artists have this amazing ability to visualise what's happening in our environment and the future of our environments.
So you've got this perfectly intact stone village, and the people had to leave after a millennia or so of occupation for 2 reasons. The sand dunes keep moving all the time, but also they were throwing their rubbish out into the passageways between the little stone buildings, and eventually they were driven out by their own rubbish and sand. It seems kind of crazy that you couldn't have realised beforehand, you know, hang on a second, if we keep doing this. But I guess that's a story we're seeing writ large in our own historical moment, and there's no better place than the ocean to realise our scale in the scheme of things.
This work, though it has no narration, has a narrative. You're pulled into the world of the reef. You're guided through it. And you fall in love. You fall in love with these creatures that we don't necessarily feel close to. So that then, at the end, when you're really tossed out of the piece, I hope what you feel is this possibility of the tremendous loss it would be if we lost this extremely complex ecosystem.